All right, guys, here we go. This is chapter 14, Tools for Managing the Social Media Marketing Effort. As we get started on this chapter, a couple of things that we want to keep in mind. First off, not all social media platforms are equally appropriate for identified target markets at any given time or for any specific campaign. We've talked about this in various different ways throughout the semester. It's important to understand who your audience is, where your audience is, how your audience expects to see certain types of content on certain types of platforms. And all of that comes into play as you're navigating through and trying to present your marketing message on social media. The second thing to keep in mind, time and skilled personnel are the resources in shortest supply in SMM operations. As we've gone through and we've talked about all sorts of different tactics and different things in terms of customizing your message to meet the standards of the particular platform to reach the specific audience, you can see that in order to do all of the things that are necessary to be successful in social media, that it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort, which means using a lot of resources or hiring a lot of people, which involves money. And all those things can be hard to justify to certain people when you're talking about using free tools to help to bolster the financial bottom line. And sometimes it can be hard to justify those sorts of things, especially in light of some of the ways that we talked about how being able to measure and monitor the effects that social media has on the financial balance sheet can be a challenge. We're talking about that with chapter 13. So with all of that in mind, and if we do have the sense that being on social media is going to be an important part of what we do as marketers and as communicators, then we really have to keep that in mind, that this is something that could be a real time suck. Both of these issues compel marketers to prioritize their activities and to operate with the greatest possible efficiency. So there are some ways that you can lessen the time that is spent doing all of these activities and trying to make the most of what is available out there. Just because everything is available out there doesn't necessarily mean that you need to do everything that is out there. And we're going to talk a lot about that in this chapter. All right, so let's define our terms. What are social media marketing tools? Well, let's first define what a tool is. A tool is an item or implement used for a specific purpose. A hammer is used to drive a nail into a piece of wood. A screwdriver is used to insert or remove screws. A tool has a specific purpose in mind. A marketing tool. Marketing tools are the techniques and materials used by those who are involved in the promotion of goods and services. So these tools have that function of being able to help to create that message and to reach out with that message to the specific intended audience. Social media is a new marketing tool that allows you to get to know your customers and prospects in ways that were previously not possible. So this is kind of a specific definition of social media compared to how we've defined it before. Looking at it from the marketing perspective, looking at social media as a tool. This information and knowledge from social media must be paid for with the output on behalf of the marketer, the output of respect, trustworthiness, and honesty. And we've talked about how it is important in social media for us to be authentic in our communications and to not try to be gimmicky, not try to be just not trying to pull one over on people, if you will. That there has to be a certain amount of realism, a certain amount of respect for the people that are on the platform, not to treat them like, you're insulting them, their intelligence or anything like that, and to treat people like they are people. Social media management software is software designed for marketing departments and organizations to publish to social media platforms. So it has that specific role of making it so that you can get content out on your various social media platforms. And then social media marketing tools are software designed to support or automate common social media marketing activities. And this can include a wide variety of different types of activities, whether it's content generation, publishing, scheduling publishing, and republication. Also testing, monitoring, analysis, and all sorts of other sort of things. So the marketing tools are going to be a much broader scope than the management tools. Management focuses a lot more on publishing. Marketing includes all the other aspects in addition to publishing content. Ways that tools have been categorized. So these are some different ways that you can use social media marketing tools. There are social listening software. This would be things that would be categorized as social media monitoring software. These help you to be able to get the sense of what your customer base or your prospective customers are saying about your brand, the things that they're talking about, the things that they're interested in. Social conversation software, also known as social media engagement software or social media management software. This helps you to be able to keep in communication with your customer base. Social marketing software, also known as social media management software, and a bunch of gibberish labels. There's all sorts of different names that are out there for this particular category of tool, but all of it with the intent of trying to reach out to your customer base. Social analytics software, gathering the information that you need. Social influencer software, trying to reach out to different people that would be able to help you to get more clout. Social advertising, actually going out and purchasing Facebook ads or Google ads or some of the other things out there, making that a much more streamlined process. Social commerce, social media developer apps, those things would help you to be able to create certain sort of applications for your customer base or for your employees to be able to integrate within the social media tools that you have. And content creation. So lots of different things that are available out there to help you to navigate through what you can do in social media. Now, choosing the right tool for the job. As we saw, there's a lot of different categories out there and a lot of different things that you can do. But one thing you want to keep in mind before you dive deep into this is that the purpose of using social media tools is to make SMM more efficient and to lessen the chance of errors. So if you have a huge list of things to do on all sorts of different social media platforms, it's very easy to forget to do something or to not do something in the right way on a particular type of platform that could cause problems. If you use a tool, you can possibly do those things much more quickly. You can possibly do things for multiple platforms with just one series of events, and there's a less likely chance that you're going to make a mistake doing so in the process. So choosing the right tool, 5 things to help you be able to do that. First off, investigate the tools that are offered by the particular platform itself. If you are looking for a platform-specific tool, start by investigating what the platform itself offers. Tools offered by the platform should be the most reliably up to date. So if you're looking for something specifically to help you to manage what you're doing on Facebook, look at what Facebook has to offer first. Same with Twitter. Look at what Twitter has to offer. Look at what Instagram has to offer before you look at third-party sources. Because most generally, it's going to be kind of that apples to apples sort of thing, that the creator of the software is going to have the most effective tools to be able to work with that software. Second, think about what you need to accomplish. Come up with the most persistent and aggravating pain points in the social media effort that you have. What is the thing that challenges you the most? What is the thing that gives you the most angst? And then based on that, find a tool that will help you to be able to overcome that particular issue. Some of the big criteria that you may be looking for would be reliability. How well and effective does that tool help you do your job? And ease of use. Is it something that makes it easier, obviously, to do what you want to do? Be sure the tool services the platforms you use. Be sure the tool links to all the strategically significant platforms used in your campaign, as well as being sure it can execute the functions you most often employ on them. So you want to make sure that if you use a certain tool, and you happen to be using Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, that your tool is going to service Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Simple enough. Fourth, consider how many people need to use the tool and what their roles are going to be. Who needs to collaborate? How often? Perhaps even from what locations should be considered in choosing between tools. And this can be important because if people need to have certain privileges within certain social media accounts, that needs to be considered. If they're going to be working from different locations and communication or syncability is going to be an issue, does the tool offer the ability to work within those sorts of conditions? You want to consider those things as well. And finally, consider whether a free tool will suffice or if you need to go out and, go ahead and spend some money. Starting with a free tool and learning to use it before migrating to a more complex service is usually going to be a good practice because it gets you introduced to what the tool is about and what it can be used for. And as you use it, if you determine that you need to have certain other features that would make things more convenient, then you can consider upgrading to a paid service and determining that the cost of that service is worth the benefits of what that paid service will offer. When looking at tools, especially if you're a beginner, here's 3 pieces of advice. First off, you're going to want to use a tool that helps you create content. When you find that tool, because that's the main thing that we're using social media for, is to put our message out there. So you're going to want a tool that helps you to be able to do that in the best possible fashion. Secondly, use a tool to monitor your activity. Find tools that will help you to be able to navigate through what all is happening with your posts and with your social media pages. To be able to keep track of your number of followers and numbers of likes and all the other important information that you would be looking for. If the tool helps to be able to organize that information in a nice, neat fashion, that would be a tool that benefits you. And thirdly, use a tool to help you analyze how your social media activity is growing and achieving goals. So there is not just getting the data, but understanding what that data means and what sort of action steps you need to take based on the data you have.